And here we are. Welcome back to another episode of the Day After Podcasts.
What's up? Sorry it's so late. We're both working men, so
Yeah. I got off at like 7. Ryan got off just now, basically.
much making that money, making that
Yeah,
money.
exactly. And I gotta say, I've been looking forward all day to talking about this episode.
Yes, this was a very, very
Yeah,
interesting episode,
yeah.
and
This episode was anything but normal.
ha 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 ha. I cannot wait to talk about that tribal council with you because
Uh,
I'm like, or that part, because I had a little epiphany too.
uh-huh.
During that, but it's when we start out, it's day 31. It's like, wow, you
Mhm.
know, 9 full days left, 9 people left.
Mhm.
Like one of these people is going to win the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
This whole episode felt like the comedy of errors. It was just people just playing, but like it almost seemed like they couldn't quite get it. It's like they knew what they were going for, but pieces just weren't lining up the way I think they thought it was.
just kind of Jesus. It's just
Yeah.
like Nora's whole thing. Like she kind of went bonkers. And to
Oh,
correct
yeah.
myself, it's 8 people, not 9. Um,
Yeah.
but
I mean,
all right.
Nora was great. Like she was great television though. Like
She was great television, but Jesus Christ, like especially at Tribal, I'm like, all right, she feels like a fucking monkey with a machine gun.
Mhm.
Like she
Yeah.
was too dangerous to be in the game at that point.
Yeah, like I think everyone was expecting to take her to the end. Now she's pulled like an Abby Maria, where you don't want her to be in the game any longer.
No. It's like she's legit too dangerous to be in the game.
Yeah,
She was
because
not.
you can't play with her. Yeah,
It's like, why would you risk having your own game blown up now? It's
yeah,
like
exactly. And especially because with the fire making twist, like it's really hard to bring a goat sometimes now to the ends. Especially if you already have like Dan first. I think the main group wants to bring Dan as their goats. Um,
yeah, looking like that.
and so you don't really have room to bring two goats because that one of those goats could take your spots.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Um, Especially since we're down to like 8, you know, well now 7, but like, coming in this episode, like, half of these people will make it into that moment, you know,
Yeah,
and like, we're the end game is almost here.
yeah. There's only one more normal episode, and then it's the finale.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So speaking of this episode, I know. So we finally get to reveal why Joe does not like the loved ones. Like,
Oh yeah. I left everyone on a big cliffhanger.
yeah,
Well, first off, I hate everything sappy in Survivor. So that immediately loses points with me. And then also, just the whole fact that games get completely changed on if you win the Survivor loved ones visit. Because then you have to pick people, meaning that you isolate however many people. Luckily, at least this time, it was 50-50 splits. But there's been
yeah,
times where they are the minority of the people who go with their loved ones. And it's like,
like
why wouldn't you just take them out?
or like
Um,
Shannon, or not Shannon. I keep saying Shannon. Cat in One World.
exactly. It's just like you have to throw the challenge, right? Oh, not necessarily throw,
Hey,
but not win.
I feel like it's hard. It's a hard thing because, like, you want to see your loved ones there. You also want to win a reward,
Yeah.
and like because the people that won, it was Janet and it was Tommy. Uh,
Hmm.
it was like, all right, who do you pick from there?
Yeah. Well,
I
you have to take Dan because he has a 13-year-old, as his loved one. Like you can't
Yeah,
just say, no, the kid has to go back home now.
yeah. Like I remember way back in I believe it was it Exile Island
Yeah, it was
or
Panama, I believe, where there was another
yeah,
kid.
with Shane Powers.
Yeah.
You know, his kid came on and he was he was like what 15 or something.
Yeah, I can't remember. Jeff said that this kid was the youngest one, so I'm
Yeah,
assuming,
unless he forgot, but
yeah.
I would imagine. I think Jeff
They
Probst
would
would
have
have.
fact checked that, right? Because
Yeah,
they knew he was coming. They would have done the research.
yeah. Um, so like to have someone there and like they're there for the experience, so it's like you kind of had to bring him.
Yeah.
Uh,
But then this is the tough part is who you pick next. Because they,
when Tommy chose Lauren, I was like, is that a good move though?
yeah. I mean,
Like you're showing, you two have that bond
yeah.
even more, which
Yeah,
is like,
we have to ignore like what happens with tribal, like what happened in this episode, and just think of it in the perspective of was that a good move on their part? And I think it wasn't. Um, because the thing is, I think Tommy and Lauren are close enough that Tommy could have gone back and been like, I had to have you there to make sure that they didn't do anything.
yeah,
Um,
like, honestly, I feel Nora would have probably been the best person to bring
Same.
at see
Yeah.
later on.
Also, I mean, her loved one has a vision impairment, so she had to go up there and walk around with Jeff Probst during the challenge.
Now that you mention it, yeah, I feel that was a good reason. Also, it's best because at the end of the because I didn't realize this, but it was like, oh yeah, Nora is with the old Laro tribe.
Hmm.
That could be dangerous because we already know how big of a threat Nora is. Why don't
Yeah.
we, take her away from those people?
Yeah, don't let her because she just will go on a dime and not even like think about is this the right move? Should I be doing this? She's just gonna do it because she can.
Which which she did. She
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, and oh gosh, I think that was one of the best being mad at not being picked for a loved one's visit ever. She just went
Grishma was
off.
ferocious too.
Yeah.
Grishma was ferocious as well.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
she had such like ferocity. It was like, oh, I'm out for blood
Yeah,
now. And
yeah, yeah. She wanted to like hit them with a wrecking ball at one point.
this, I I was a bit like the vicious Grishma makes me a bit scared. Like
Yeah.
like because I'm like, oh shit, I know you've been through a lot this game. Um,
She has never really been tight with anyone. There's not been like a single ally that she's had in this entire game.
well, I feel because her downfall was that she always felt like she was in danger,
Yeah.
and then she was pretty vocal about it, and
Yeah.
then like it just paints a target on your back.
Yeah. If you say you're in danger, people are like, I guess she's in danger.
Yeah, and then it's kind of like a thing of like you start to isolate yourself as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, exactly. Um, I don't know if you ever watched the Ponderosas, but Charisma's Ponderosa was amazing.
oh
Like, I
yeah,
think it's the best Ponderosa video I've ever seen.
what happened?
Well, first off, she gets to the doctor's office, like tent, and she's talking. She's just going on about how terrible it's been, and then the doctor is like knocks a cockroach off of her shoulder, and she's like, "It was a moth, right?" And she's like, "No, it's a cockroach," and she freaks out and has a full-on panic attack.
Hell,
Um, and then she lost 20 pounds in the whole thing, so that's pretty. Um, and then her whole thing was just like she didn't think anyone was going to want to hug her. She wanted a hug so bad when she got to Ponderosa, and everyone was there to hug her, and she was just smiling, having a good time, and
well,
she was just very like it was a different charisma than what we've seen on the show.
well, I feel the stress of the game really got to her.
Yeah,
And I feel that's what kind of was her undoing.
Hmm.
in the sense of like, her Survivor experience was like, oh, I'm on the bottom, I'm losing the game,
Yeah.
and panicking from
Also,
that.
I just
Like,
lost the game.
yeah,
Yep. We have to have that meme somewhere in this episode.
and it's right smack there,
Yep.
right there. But um, with Karishma, yeah, because we've even joked about her on the show. It's just, like she just put herself in that position of being, kind of on the bottom and kind of being the joke around here.
Mhm.
That, it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way where you're perceived as this way, and so you start to behave more that way, and then
Mhm.
people around you start to notice it more and believe it more.
Yeah, and like once you start getting into the habit of that, it's really hard to break. Like even if you're aware of it, it can be kind of like hard to kind of break away from that, especially because everyone's perception of you is like that. Like you have to
Yeah.
try really hard to not be that.
And a- and I guess it's tough, especially because there are so many different forces playing on Survivor. You're sleep deprived, you're starving, um, and like you're in constant threat of like you have the chance to win $1 million, and like one wrong move or misreading one conversation can have that all taken away from you. So like
Yeah.
understand like the pressures of it all.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Also, by the way, what was your favorite loved one like moment?
Loved one moment. I would say, I guess it was nice with like Janet's one because
Hmm.
like, it was just like, yeah, we know Janet is a badass, but like just hearing more about, her from like someone she cares about. And then, like I think they made a cute couple.
Hmm.
I
The
was
the
actually saying
gender reveal.
the what?
The
Oh
gender
yeah,
reveal.
yeah, that
Yeah,
one, that was a little nice thing. Low
yeah,
key, like a lot of the couples this time around, like they were all like cute together, like cute little match. Like big old Tommy and little old his girlfriend, and then Elaine and her girlfriend, you know, and
yeah,
then
yeah.
Morgan and her hubby.
Yeah, yeah. Elaine was really nice. That was a nice little moment there. Her girlfriends.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It was yeah, yeah, but you know what? I want all the sap to go find a tree somewhere and just stay there because Survivor is not a tree.
I know, but I like the sap. Well, like I said, you get to see more of these into these people's lives, and like I kind of and it kind of makes them a bit more human in a sense, even if it's like a villain in the
Yeah.
season. Which this season we don't really have a quote unquote villain.
Well, we have from our perspective villains, but not I think the contestants' perspective of villains.
Yeah, yeah. Like I mean, Dan could be considered one, but he's not
Yeah. He,
necessarily.
he I don't think anyone out there is perceiving him as a villain right now, even though all of that happened with the
Yeah,
Kelly situation. I still don't think because yeah, like they've kind of gone over that at that point. Um, yeah, yeah, thank God. And
but
yeah, and
yeah,
Missy was kind of a villain, but like even then she was like a mild villain.
I didn't even think she was a villain. I just think she was an intense player.
Yeah.
I just
I know a lot of people were very like she's a straight up villain.
I never really got that vibe from her.
Yeah. I think a lot of that came I think a lot of that came from was just that whole that the merge episode. I think that's why people are being perceived as villains for us.
If anything, I feel like if this season had a villain, it would be Nora.
Nora, but she's too crazy.
Chaotic evil.
Yeah, but like she's not.
Chaotic evil.
I want my villains to be strategic.
We don't know the things that go on in her head.
Yeah.
It's
No,
like
no one does. I don't think Nora knows what's going on in her head.
well, it's funny because while it was going on, there was a time where I was thinking, you know what, could there be logic in her craziness,
Mhm.
like because when she was like recruiting the Laro tribe and being like, oh hey, let's try and find an idol. Elaine found an idol,
Mhm.
and like granted, another idol wasted as
Yeah. As has been the theme of the season, not Island of the Idols, Island of the Misplayed Idols.
exactly. And then it's like like and then like she was even there was something, it was I wrote it down what it was, um rectical activating system, where it's
Mhm.
like, oh, you say something, I was like, oh, then that's actually something that could be
Yeah.
helpful. Like,
But it was so great because she says this, and then she's just looking at anything that looks like blue, including like their flag. I was like, Nora, that's not an idol.
be fair, I mean, in Survivor China, the
It's
idol was
fair point. But I don't think Nora's seen Survivor China.
never know.
She did not know who Boston Rob and Sander are. There's no way she saw Survivor China.
Fair enough.
The
That could have been the one season she saw.
one, of course, one of the best seasons.
Exactly. Um, yeah, that was really good. So
Yeah, yeah, top 10 season, but we're on season 39, which I don't think is a top 10 season.
no, I do feel like it's been a pretty eventful one,
Yeah,
but
I would go out on a limb and say one of the top 10 pre-merges because I really love the pre-merge. Almost every episode, in my opinion, was great. There was maybe like
yeah,
one stinker.
I feel like I feel a part of the reason why post merge they had two episodes in a row where it was double elimination,
Yeah.
um, which I know why they do it. It's in case
Mhm.
someone gets like hurt during a challenge and like medical evac stuff like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like we don't get the proper time with certain people.
Yeah, I've always thought that it's like if the editors think that there's a certain person who no one's going to care if they leave. Like that's another big thing is like they'll try to have the first person gone in that double elimination thing and just be like, no one really cares about that person, but people are going to care about this person.
Uh, well, I mean, with the merge one, like Kelly, and
Mhm.
then wait, who was right after Kelly?
Jamal.
Jamal. I mean, especially Kelly with like everything that happened during that
Yeah.
point in time, and then with I guess maybe Jamal, but I mean
Yeah.
Jamal.
Yeah, well, that one's a specialty just because of all that happened. They needed 2 episodes because all the thing that happened with Dan needed 2 episodes because it got brought up back to back, and I think they wanted to keep that in a 1 episode thing and try to move on after that.
Yeah, because then again, it was tough on me as an audience
Oh
member.
yeah, it was brutal. I don't think I'll ever go back and watch that episode. If I ever rewatch the season, I'm just gonna skip that episode.
Yeah, I can't say I don't blame you. It was like, I mean, we talked about this for a while. It was a
Yeah.
rough one.
Yeah, yeah, no, but back on track with
Yeah.
this episode. Well, I think we're a little scatterbrained because of work.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So immunity challenge.
Hmm.
So this one it was interesting. Focusing on a ball standing.
Yeah, yeah, that was honestly, I would be so bad at this challenge. This is another one of those. It's just, I would probably go out within like the first minutes.
I don't know how I would do it those because me as a person, like I can't like turn off my brain.
Hmm.
So like my mind is always shifting from one thing to another.
Yeah.
Um, or like even if I'm thinking about something, I might get lost deep in thought, especially with something like that where it's just like stick this position.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I have like a squirrel brain, and I'll just be like thinking of this and that, and just kind of going back and forth, like, and especially like when I see other people drop out, I'm going to look. Like, there's no way I can
yeah.
just keep on
Also,
it.
there was a thing Lauren was doing. I don't know if this was intentional, but I know sometimes people make a big deal that they are going to lose and they end
Mhm.
up winning.
Uh-huh.
This happened to me in a tournament actually, where this
Uh-huh.
guy was like, it was like an online tournament and like we were matched up and he was like, "Oh, I didn't really think about my team. I'm totally messing this up." And it was like, "Do you want to just get this over with? You're going to win anyway." And then when he won, I was like,
Welp.
I don't know, like it's kind of a like I get where she I don't know. It just when people are like that, it doesn't always sit well with me.
Okay.
And like,
I think it was genuine because she's expressed in the last episode she's not very good at challenges. She considers herself like the weakest one out there. And that was to Boston Rob and Sandra who had no stake in the game.
fair enough. But
Yeah.
I don't know, like I guess yeah, but there's always like a psychology thing, I feel,
Hmm.
when that happens.
Yeah. 'Kay, she had a tear going down her face at one point. And Elaine was strong. Like I was like, there's okay, Elaine's winning. No way.
I felt so bad when she lost because I'm like, 'cause now we're close to that point where it's like, anyone can go
Yeah.
home now.
Yeah,
You know?
this would have been a perfect moment to send Elaine home.
Yeah,
Um,
because she's already proven that she's good at challenges.
yeah,
Like,
she's won one, she's almost won this one. Like, she could really go on an immunity run because um like who else is there that would really beat her in challenges like Nora? I mean, yeah, Lauren won today,
Nora
but like
pretend Nora potentially.
uh
I would say
he
Tommy, but he
he
hasn't
hasn't
really.
shown. Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe he's doing the sleeper thing, where
Hmm.
it's like, all right, I'm showing that I'm not that big of
Yeah.
a threat right now.
I can see
Yeah,
him winning one immunity and that being Final Four.
I can, I can feel him, being kind of like a finale winner, where
Hmm.
it's like he just starts like Brad Culpepper just started winning individual immunity at the end, one after
Uh-huh.
the other, because that's what he had to do to stay in the game. Where like in season 30, like Mike, like just
Yeah.
continuously winning and finding idols and stuff to keep his butt in the game.
Yeah.
I can definitely see him doing that
Yeah.
because on paper, like I said, Tommy was kind of a bit of a sleeper hit, or sleeper threat. And because all the athletic guys started going out, it's like, oh, okay, Tommy is one of the last ones left. But because he hasn't been performing well in challenges, he doesn't seem as big of a threat as Nora or Elaine. Uh, oh, we're kind of running out of people.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, Dean's not really a physical threat either, even though that he really should be. But
I
he's just doing the war dog right now, just not not really doing it.
yeah. Um, I don't feel. I'm trying to think because like Janet is strong, obviously.
Mhm.
It's just I don't think she really has had the challenge where she's really
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah, there hasn't been a swimming only challenge, and that's what she's waiting for.
I mean, swimming is one part, but there's always like a puzzle or something at the end.
Yeah, yeah. Also, she took a nasty spill in this challenge.
Oh yeah, when she did, like her foot was
Yes.
big. Now, I'm in
Yeah.
general grossed out by feet, but when I saw it, I was like, oh god, like I
Yeah,
was legit.
I had an audible gasp. I thought that I was like, oh no, is she gonna get medevaced? like how imagine like, but that would be such a badass way. Is her falling enough where she'd have to get medevac, but try to act like it's no big deal. That would be
Uh,
such a Janet thing to do.
well, I think, yeah, yeah. You know, I feel like, she is a very strong woman, and she is a very, you know, tough person in general. Like,
Yeah.
um, especially like how she like emotionally as well as like mentally and physically. So like, when she was like, "Oh, it's nothing," like I genuinely believed her, and even when I saw the bloody foot, I'm like, "Oh shit!" But
Yeah.
she was still cool about it. They might have checked up on her after, but I don't think like
I'm
she was
sure
ever.
they bandaged it up at least, right? They'd
Yeah,
have to.
I don't think like she was ever in like danger of being evac.
Yeah, yeah, I think yeah, it's definitely one of those where they just kind of like put some stuff on it real fast and it's like, okay, it'll be good in a couple days.
Yeah, yeah,
But that's definitely going to hurt her in challenges. You got to imagine,
possibly. I don't
especially
know.
yeah, if she has to run, like there's no way she's running
I
now.
mean, it depends on how bad it actually was. Like, I don't think it's that bad. Now,
Yeah.
granted, and I'm not being prejudiced, I'm just saying this because it is statistically proven. The older you are, the slower you heal.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
there is
Yeah.
that, but I
I
don't
mean,
think it.
if I stub my toe, I'm not running for a couple of days. That's me.
Like for me, I'll hobble if I have to, but
Uh,
I feel I don't think it'll impair her game as that much, really. I
mhm.
feel like it'll be something of like, oh yeah, oh yeah, I thought it was like kind of like a one-off thing where it's like, oh yeah, the foot was bleeding, but she's okay.
Yeah. I mean, she's still getting a hero's edit, if I'd ever say so myself.
Fair statement. That's a
Yeah.
fair statement.
And also, would you agree that if Lauren didn't win this immunity, there's a good chance she goes home?
Yes. I
Yes.
feel she was a she is a big threat now, especially because on paper she has a pretty clean game.
Yes.
And like granted, you have to make power moves, but
Mhm.
also you don't want that much blood on your hands. And Elaine, she's made some moves as well as earned a immunity win. So
Mhm.
it's like out of, let's say, but then again, Tommy hasn't been too direct except for with
Yeah.
Jesse.
Yeah. I think that a power duo is really great for a long period of the game. You just don't want to sit next to your power duo because
Yeah,
then you have a chance of splitting the votes that could go your way, and that could leave opportunity for the other person to kind of slide on in. Um, yeah, so definitely Tommy and Lauren they're gonna have to battle it out probably at 5 or 4 to see who's gonna be sitting there.
yeah. If they get there,
Uh,
this
I I I think they are.
we'll, we'll
I
see.
I I know if you watch the after Survivor, they hinted towards some stuff.
Maybe. See, part of the reason why I don't watch those in case one of them slips.
Mhm.
Uh, but
Yeah,
so you know, Lauren wins immunity, and then they go back, and then Nora's wanting to flip the switch.
yeah.
Or,
This was the craziest like 7 minutes or so of Survivor that I've
I'm
ever
like,
seen.
Nora. I'm
She
just
could,
like looking
yeah,
at my, I'm looking at my laptop screen, and I'm like, for the love of God, just stick to the plan. Like,
yeah. They literally told her what to do, and she was like, "Well, why don't we do this?" And they're like, "No, you can't. That number won't help us. You need to do this. And it's like she just wasn't getting it. She had to have a leaves
Leaves.
to figure out.
You see, that's when I had my epiphany,
Uh,
as that I mentioned earlier. I was like, because for a lot of the Pokemon tournaments and stuff I do, I like write down stuff and like I go with like, like, oh, this has this kind of rating against this Pokemon, stuff like that. And then when she was doing that and overthinking, I had a moment of like when I compared it to when Luke saw his face in Darth Vader's mask in the Dagobah forest.
uh-huh.
That was my moment. It was, oh shit, no. And then I was like, oh shit, Nora's going to fuck this up.
Yeah.
And like, don't get me wrong, I didn't want Tommy to go home, but me as like a strategist, I'm like, why are you doing
Yeah.
this? You were totally
Yeah.
doing something that could have been
Yeah.
a good blindside.
Yeah, for Nora especially, like she needed to just stick to that plan. There was no there was no need to get it all confused.
Yeah.
And I think
And
she's a big reason why Dean wanted to go to Tommy at Tribal Council. Uh,
yes, because Nora is freaking unpredictable.
yeah.
Like she's like I said, she's too dangerous. Monkey with a machine gun.
Mhm.
Like you don't know what's gonna happen if it's just gonna randomly just aim fire at you or whatever. Like
Yeah.
completely blew up the old Laro's game.
Yeah.
And well, it's like, all right, now Laro doesn't want to play with you anymore because they can't trust you.
Yeah.
Um, like I was legit surprised she did not go home.
Yeah,
Like,
I thought for sure that they were gonna flip the switch right there and get her out. And honestly, like she should have gone home after everything that happened. She really, I honestly don't know when the last time such a crazy survivor has been out there.
no, yeah, it
I
was like,
can't think of it
I mean, first
because
there were
she
so
I don't think she's crazy to try to be crazy. I think she's just crazy.
I feel she may just be, and I like you said earlier, it makes for good TV, but good lord, like
Yeah.
like I don't blame Elaine in that mass chaos for playing it for herself because with how things were going
Yeah.
and with who knew what Laura did or Nora, I mean, or anything like that, it was just like madness.
Yeah,
And
Elaine basically did what Lauren did last episode and playing it just because who knows what's happening now.
yeah, yeah, and my God, like and when it was revealed that Karishma was the one that went home, I was like, you know, I'm glad her or not Tommy or Janet or Elaine.
Honestly, she because she was my winner pick.
I know
She was, and I hated her for almost the entire pre-merge.
she was getting better.
She was getting so good. I gave her the last two MVPs because I thought she was that good.
I do admit she improved a
Uh-huh.
lot, but it was like I was, but like to have her out, I was like, okay, so this is where they finally get her. I still think she should not have gone out like that. That
Yeah.
should have been Nora, though.
Yeah.
Right then and there, it's like because like that's the thing about the wild card, especially this late in the game. It's like you guys are running out of people to vote out. Uh,
Yeah.
the people are like, oh, we'll get them later. Later is like now or never. It's like,
Yeah.
and with Nora, like, heaven forbid she wins the next immunity, and then every one of them is in a trouble. Is
Yeah.
in
Well, you'd
trouble.
have to imagine if Nora wins immunity, Elaine goes home. And I don't think anyone wants that.
No. God no.
That's literally the only option I see on the table. I mean, I guess they could try to flip on each other, but it almost seems like I think they
I
might
mean,
want to wait
Dean
one
is
more
still
vote.
around. Dean is still around.
Yeah, but I think Dean and Tommy are close to a degree. I think I think Tommy would rather take Dean over Elaine.
But I mean, Tommy in the past has already proven
Mhm.
that like he might sacrifice an alliance if it benefits his game.
Yeah, because I
Big.
don't know if you've seen. There's a secret scene where it's revealed that Tommy and Dean are close.
Okay. Okay.
And it's just not being shown on Survivor because I think, in the grand scheme of things, they don't want us to know that.
Uh, Well, all right. Well, but then again, Tommy likes to also keep his options open just in.
Yeah, and like this is the moment where you definitely need to get rid of Elaine. She like at most you let her get to 6. You don't
Yeah,
let her get any further.
as much as it pains me, if I'm thinking it from a strategic standpoint, the biggest threats are, her and Tommy.
Hmm.
Janet, she's made some. I don't think she's necessarily made enemies on the jury. She is likable,
Hmm.
but her resume I don't think is as fleshed out as many
Yeah,
others. Lauren, I think she has a good case going for her.
yeah. Her big thing is I think she needs to get rid of Tommy. If she sits at the end with anyone but Elaine, um, I think she can win. Because I do think it might be tough if Lauren and Tommy are sitting at the end together.
Yeah, yeah. I do feel. Well, I mean, I highly doubt that whoever that third person is going to get too many votes.
If it's Elaine, if it's Lauren, Tommy, and
Elaine,
Elaine,
yeah. If it's Elaine, she might get some votes. I'm just curious on what the circumstances would have been. Like, who would have been the final four in this scenario?
yeah,
Uh,
it would probably be Dan would be the fourth one. I'm assuming. I feel like they're not going to cut him unless it's like fire making.
yeah, I really don't see because a lot of heat has gone off Dan in
Yeah,
later episodes. Also, like it's kind of like he's not really a threat in like
yeah,
gameplay. Why? What has he really accomplished?
nothing exactly. But I feel like there's a I want to see maybe Lauren and Tommy in the fire making challenge against each other. That would be that would be something.
It would be something, but like anytime one of my favorites are in danger, I get nervous.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we have uh like 4 favorites out of this, and only 3 can make it to it. So we have to lose at least one of our favorites.
Ah, I think we'll wait till next episode, and obviously we'll make our predictions then.
Yeah,
We'll
because
find
right now Tommy has like such a winner's edit through and through. Um, and I'm trying not to think of the edits, but like we keep hearing he's a 4th grade teacher. He's a 4th grade teacher. He's not doing this for the money. He's doing it to inspire his kids.
out. I
Like we,
mean,
it keeps getting
sometimes.
drilled into our heads.
Well, I mean, I do feel like win or lose because, like, if you think about it, there have been several great players that have never won the game
Hmm.
who have, played multiple times, still haven't won this game. And, they are inspirational or they are like good people and stuff like that. But, like, there can only be one winner per season.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I lost it.
I definitely
It's
think
yeah.
he would be someone that they would bring back.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, no. He's definitely a potential returner. I think Karishma, if she ever want to go back out there, I don't think she will,
Maybe, maybe.
but I feel like hypothetically speaking, if the 40s of Survivor have 2 All-Star seasons or whatever, I feel like they'll ask Karishma back for both of those. And if she says no to them, then it'll be like, okay, I guess we're not getting her.
I feel if I were to choose three people that would probably come back, I think Tommy's definitely one of them. I think Elaine would also be one of them.
Elaine would be great, yeah.
And then I think because of the pure chaos, Nora.
Nora.
I don't think she would win, but I think they would bring her back just to see what kind of
Yeah.
shit she would stir.
Yeah, I just see Karishma coming back and being a first boots. Because I don't think anyone now knowing what she's like on the show and like what happened, like she would have to come out and just like kill it, and I don't see that happening.
But speaking of Karishma, yeah, voted out.
Yeah,
Like
this was another just a crazy tribal council, and this is Whispergate is just happening so much now.
like I made a joke because I'm a big fan of The Walking Dead.
Hmm.
Like they should just nickname Survivor contestants Whisperers because like they're all just whispering around. Like
Yeah.
half their dialogue is whispering.
Jeff got like only a couple questions in, and Tommy was just like, "How many votes am I getting?" And Dean's just like, "3."
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah,
It was
and
exciting, but it's always like whenever something like that happens, where it's like like a meeting at tribal council, like secret people going off here and there. It's like it's always like pandemonium, it's chaos, and you don't know where like the votes are going to go. And even if it's clear that it might go one way, or it might seem very clear that it might be going one way, they could be like psych, it's actually Karishma going home.
yeah, the best line of the episode was all of that just to get rid of Karishma.
Yeah. um I don't feel like that was 100% a fair statement. Like I
I
feel like,
I feel like there were other moves on the table besides Karishma that would have been better for a lot of other people's games.
getting rid of Tommy is definitely, I feel, a big one.
Yeah.
Um,
For like everyone except for Lauren and Tommy, that was probably a better move. um, and that Nora would be a good move for the majority of everyone.
everyone in that game, like
Yeah,
I keep saying it, too dangerous to be in the game. In fact, the
exactly.
fact that she was still there, I'm like, why? How? Why would you keep this person around? It's
Mhm.
just like she's
Yeah.
gotten way out of hand. She's a loose cannon. It's like I wouldn't want that person in the game because it is a risk that like no matter what, she's going to try and stir up the game. And,
Mm.
whether or not that person is always successful, it's still like a risk that, I'm surprised they took.
Yeah. What do you think of Dean's move to tell Tommy? Do you think this was a good move for him? Because I know that if people are split down the middle if this was a good move or a bad move.
I honestly feel that with everything that happened, and kind of like how you're saying, building that bond, because sometimes you can be in a shit alliance, but if you have someone on the other side that you're close with,
Hmm.
it can leave options open further down the line. So I think
Yeah.
it helps.
Yeah, I am kind of in the opinion it was a good move. If I put myself in Dean's shoes, I think it was a good move because he's not close to Karishma. He's thinks Nora is crazy. Why would he want to align with that? He's not close with Elaine, and then it's him. But at least with Tommy, he thinks that there's something there, and it used to be, Dan, Janet, Tommy, Lauren, and Nora was the fifth. Now Dean's kind of taken that fifth spot, and even though he could have had that four, at least with the 5, he can then be kind of like, hey, these people are bigger threats than me, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, there's always room at the bottom, or like there's always room in the bottom to try and do something, as
Yeah,
long as try not to overthink it.
yeah.
Like,
Which
and
Dean
then
has done a lot of overthinking this season, I'd say. or sometimes not even thinking. So he goes back and forth each episode on overthinking, not thinking.
all right. So, who do you think was the best player this episode?
Well, I'm going to give an honorable mention to Karishma's Ponderosa video. Yet again, best Ponderosa video ever. You need to go see it. It was great. I was enjoying myself thoroughly.
All right.
Okay, that's off the table now.
For me, if I were to choose best player, I would say I don't think I might say Lauren, in the sense of like A, she won,
mhm,
B, like she was able to keep her alliance at the end, and not only that, um, able to keep her closest ally, who is a threat.
yeah,
Granted, Nora just kind of screwed it up for
yeah,
that, the fact that she was able to like possess like. But we'll also see how that plays off by keeping Nora around.
yeah. She's also my MVP of the actual game. Because what was that face?
Nora is. Did you say Nora
No,
is
no,
your MVP?
Lauren.
Oh, thank God! I was about to say.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what? No, she's MVP of my entertainment value this episode, not strategic wise. I definitely enjoyed Nora's moments the best this episode, but not. She does not get an MVP.
No, I
I'm pretty
think
sure she gets her LVP 100%.
hands down, it's like when it is just like just zero trust with anyone. No one's gonna want to talk any strategy with
Yeah,
you.
she is
And
isolated herself. She is either getting brought along to the end or cut right now.
it's just too dangerous to bring.
Yeah.
I
And
would
honestly,
not.
I feel like she would when she would do a Chris Underwood without even knowing about Chris Underwood and win immunity at Final Four, and then willingly go into fire making with Tommy, beat Tommy.
I she. Well, I mean, to be fair, she wouldn't necessarily know Chris Underwood because
Yeah,
that literally happened.
exactly. But like that's why I said without even knowing about what happened.
Fair enough. But it's like,
How funny would that be if someone this season thinks they're doing something the first time in Survivor by doing that, but it's like, well, we've already seen that with Chris Underwood.
hmm. I think also the interesting thing about Chris was, he's the first Survivor contestant to have been voted off the same season and still have won.
Yeah, he got voted out third.
Yeah. And he ended up coming in near the very end in the finale. And it's like, oh, yeah, I'm back. I win.
Yeah. I've never been more flabbergasted in a finale.
Like, I'm glad that it finally happened, even though I feel like in was it Pearl Islands? Yeah.
Yeah.
Lillian.
Yeah, Lil and Burton came back.
Yeah. I definitely feel like she should have won.
Yeah, well, if she brought Johnny Fairplay, there's a chance she wins that. But even then, like, I mean, he was hated enough, and at that point, they respected likability over strategy.
Yeah, back then that was kind of the meta.
Yeah. Um. But yet again, getting back onto this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lauren, I think she definitely goes home if she doesn't win immunity here. I think she had to win immunity.
I just feel that
Because
Nora.
I don't think Dean spills the news to Tommy if Lauren's going home.
No, I don't feel. Well, I mean, on the next time on Survivor, they were like, oh, it could have been just like a whole thing about the edit, but it did seem like they made it shaped like Tommy might have been going after Nora, not Nora, Lauren
Hmm.
next episode.
Yeah,
Which I mean,
they hinted towards that.
but I feel
yeah, go for it.
Nora is too much of a threat to keep in this game.
Yeah, but
The-
she's such good TV, Ryan.
She can be on the jury.
Oh, but we won't get the crazy Nora confessionals that make no sense, but only to her.
She will have a fun little monologue at the final tribal, and it's
Uh,
gonna blow us all away. And obviously she's gonna have like a section dedicated to her during the reunion.
yeah, oh, 100%.
She just cannot afford to be. If I was a player in this game, it's like Nora scares the hell out of me because she's like the Joker,
Uh,
unpredictable. You don't know what she's gonna do.
yeah.
She is chaotic,
Hmm.
evil.
Yeah, honestly, when the merge happened, I was like, "There's no way she doesn't make Final Three now," because she's obviously not a good strategist. She's not a game player. But then, like every episode, she got crazier and crazier and crazier, and now
Nobody
it's just like,
trusts her.
oh,
Nobody can trust her. With
yeah,
I just, I just gameplay aside, even if it's getting rid of a big threat, I just do not trust Nora there
mm,
at all.
yeah, it's it. If she would have just toned down the craziness like 10%. Then like maybe she could sneak by to like Final Four and be like, "Well, I'm here already."
If she didn't blow up her,
Mhm.
her potential alliance game,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Yeah. But the thing is, like, I'd almost say Dean blew up her game more than anyone else. Because the fact that he told Tommy, because I think she was going to try to play it off, but then when she got caught in the lie, she fought against the lie so hard.
But I think that part of the reason Dean was worrying was because that, Nora was, like always trying to think of like mixing up and stuff like that. And so like obviously, he's going to be paranoid
Uh,
because it's Nora.
yeah, she's not normal.
She like even before that, Dean has it had his reservations about like, aligning with Nora.
Yeah.
Like before the whole trying to
Oh
switch up
yeah.
the vote or anything like that.
Oh yeah. She's made it clear that she is crazy and does not want to work with her in previous episodes. Most people have come to
Yeah.
that conclusion, and they tell her like basically right before they go to tribal. She's like Philip Shepard in that way. Like she has to know before tribal because if like right before because if she has too much time, she does crazy things. Yeah. Also, we didn't talk about Karishma's husband came on to the show after
Yeah.
the previous episodes where she kind of threw him under the bus and then brought him back in.
Because of the
It
like I
was
understand why.
uh
Because, Krishna, she needed someone and her husband Bran might not be, like it might have been an arranged marriage, stuff like that. It's still someone familiar. After from Karishma's standpoint, she, has been isolated.
yeah.
She's felt so alone in this game. She felt like she has had zero chance of winning. That seeing anyone familiar like that would
Yeah.
automatically spark something of like, deep affection.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta say, Karishma's husband's arc this season has been bigger than half the people on the season. It's been a roller coaster of emotions, I gotta say.
I mean, Chris himself has been through a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah. She is just a roller coaster of emotions. But when she's a lawyer too, so that shouldn't be a thing.
No, in fact, that's part of the reason why I respected your decision for her being like probably one of the best players of this season
Yeah.
was because when you're a lawyer, if you're freaking out, it doesn't look good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think she might lose clients. I think they don't want this person representing them. But like sometimes at tribal though, she will be very composed and everything. And then all of a sudden she just lets it go and gets all like in her head and everything. It's weird.
Well,
Uh,
we'll see how she'll act during final travel.
yeah. Do you think she's going to be bitter, or do you think she's going to pick the right person to win?
I think she'll pick the right person to win, but it's hard to say. I feel like she will pick the right person to win regardless.
Hmm.
It's just like whether or not she'll show any form of being bitter is depending on who makes it to the end.
I could ask her. I could see her asking
Hey,
questions
Nora,
about like, well, when you saw me, in like dire need and you didn't come rescue me, like why were you doing that? Like questions like that.
fair enough.
Hmm.
But
Okay,
no,
well,
I feel like she'll pick her.
yeah, I think she is a lawyer, and now that she's eating food and staying hydrated and all that kind of stuff, I'm sure she'll finally come to her senses and act rationally. Hopefully. Um, uh, so we'll have to find out who goes home next week.
Yep.
Who's
The
your
last
who's yeah
episode before the
yeah
finale.
who's
Yeah.
who do you think goes home next week?
It has to be Nora.
It has to be Nora.
Like
I see Nora goes home, but if she wins immunity, Elaine.
if she wins immunity, I don't know. Maybe it's Lauren this time.
It could be. If the preview gave us anything,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
I'll stick to Elaine because if I was in the game, I would get rid of Elaine next. If Nora couldn't go home.
I mean that's fair.
Yeah.
Like um Dan doesn't have to worry about a damn thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's making Final Three and he's going to get roasted so hard.
Janet or I feel it depends on who's left after this one.
Hmm.
Like
Well, I feel like Janet's not. She's probably going to get jury. I don't think she's making it
I
to Final
feel
Three.
it legit depends on who gets voted out next and which threats are taken out, you
Hmm.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, honestly, we should probably end this. This has been the longest episode that we have recorded for the day after pod. Look at that. We are at 58 minutes.
Wow.
That is, yeah. We had a lot to get off our chest on this episode.
Exactly. It was a crazy episode.
Yeah, exactly. It was something. It was a crazy ride to get to the obvious answer.
Did we even get there though?
Yeah, from
We
where
already there.
from point A, it was the obvious answer, and then all this craziness happened where we're like, those were now the obvious answers, and then we ended back to where the point A obvious answer was the right answer. uh, okay, well, have a good one, and see you next time on the Day After Podcasts. Peace
Later,
out.
guys.
And